to Razzmatazz with Rashi. Today we have with us Roma Gupta Sinha. She's an author, a blogger. She has won various prestigious awards like the Woman of the Year, Planet's Pride, Sahitya Kosh Samman for her work. And recently she has come up with her 6th book. So in this episode, we'll get to know about all of these and much more. So welcome, Roma. How are you?
Thank you, Rashi. Thank you for having me on your show yet again.
Yes.
It's a pleasure always to chit-chat with you. I'm perfectly fine and more than happy to be spending this weekend with you today.
Sure. I'm so happy to see you here. So tell us something about yourself and all the wonderful things that you do.
Oh, not a big shot, Rashi. I am a chota sa writer, more technically a blogger and an author. I also am a co-founder of Roma's Communication Skills Academy, wherein we groom 6 to 60-year-olds to bridge the gap between their intellect and expression. You know, as in India, expression is a major issue. Intelligence is no problem.
Yeah.
Okay. To give you a brief about my past, I am by education a BTech mechanical engineer.
Okay.
And I commenced my career with Tata Motors, then Honda CL Cars, then IKEA of Sweden. And it was quite a fulfilling experience. No grievances against that. But when my son was about 2, I embraced my first love of writing full time. Okay. And it was not Rashi writing musings or random things. I had embraced it full time because from my childhood, I have felt that deep pinch to be those women's voice who are oppressed and who can't stand for themselves. I belong to a very small town and who was not a welcome baby as a girl child. Okay, so I just wanted the world to know that how they feel and to prick the conscience of those who are actually the perpetrators of those crimes and they don't even know. Because particularly in our country, India, men think that they are God and there's nobody to tell them that they are not.
Exactly.
Things are changing today for the good. I'm talking about a decade back, but that was my focus, women empowerment. And by God's grace, my writings were well received and indie blogger, etc. helped me spread my word nationally, internationally. I'm really grateful to them. Then Rashi, my first turning point came when I was chosen for the Women of the Year award by Glenmark. You know, as the chauffeur-driven car arrived and the media person were waiting for me to receive the award and take to the interview, I realized how big an interview I've landed, how big a challenge, not the interview, the challenge, the responsibility I have landed.
Yes.
Right. So that after that, I realized that why only be their voice? Why not also give them a solution? Problem, of course, I brought in front of the world, right? So that is why I started my academy, because communication skills was my strength. It was named like that, but it received women from all over, you know, who came in with their crisis, and we kind of gave them their footing so that they can break the shackles of society and stand on their own feet. It was, it was a very wonderful experience in Pune. Today it's only online because of COVID, but that was wonderful. My women, my books are all on women empowerment around that. As you know, even if it's fiction, it has something to do with
revolves around women.
So that is about me, Ashley. And
so when did you start writing? Like when was your blog started? And what was the first thing that you ever wrote?
I think I've been writing for eternity. It's very difficult to pinpoint, Rashi. I think I started writing at about 4 or 5. My dad was a banker and he was posted in a village. So my parents had to drop me at my maternal grandparents' home. And you know, that emotional child always today also. So, you know, my mom used to put me at sleep in the night and go by the night train so that I don't cry. So, you know, those were the scribblings where I started. Then poems, then articles, then what people around me feel like, because then writing became my only way of venting out, you know, in between 12, 15 cousins, you know, growing up in a joint family. So if I was happy, I would write. If I was sad, I would write. If I missed somebody, I would write. If I saw somebody hurt around me, any woman, I would write and make sure that my voice is heard. You know, that rebel child.
All emotions through writing.
Needed to be heard. So that is, and ask about my blog, Rashi. It was about a decade ago, like I told you, when I embraced I gave up my job, and my son was 2. So while parenting him with the aim to become the women's voice in India, I started my blog.
Yeah.
Okay, it was initially called Straight from the Heart. And then after some years, it became Truly Yours Roma, because that is how you all came to know me.
Yes.
So it got customized too, but still, it's my life. That is where I breathe.
So coming to your books, like you have recently come up with your 6th book. So like there are writers who are still struggling with the first draft, they are unable to finish that. So tell us about your books and like what keeps you going?
Rashi, my books are my babies. So you can say that I produced 6 babies in 6 years, very productive. But to be very honest, it's not me who's writing the books. There's a lot of women who's actually writing this book. So I'll tell you, Rashi, one fine morning in 2015, I got a distress call from my friend in Australia, who's highly educated and who's holding a top position, for being, subjugated to a lot of prejudice because she's given birth to a daughter. And she wrote to me at length, and she told me that you have to bring this out to the world, and you don't have to take my name. That day I wrote the first chapter of my first book ever, known as Atrocities Behind the Shut Doors. Okay. And as I wrote that, I realized there are several other stories of, really educated women also who are and uneducated ones. So that is how my first book came into shape. And I'm being very honest with you, Rashi. Out of the 6 I've written so far, my first one was the kind of satisfying experience. Every day I got calls from women as I was writing A to Z also, they were saying, this is my story. Thanks for bringing me forward. Thank you for showing us a way. I owe you. And I'll tell you, Rashi, I still have goosebumps, darling. I'm being very honest with you. It really brought the kind of satisfaction a writer hardly gets. Because I'll tell you, after that, I wanted to taste this commercial water. You become a writer, your book gets well received. The second I wrote was a chick-lit romance. So it was still about a girl who had a traumatic past, and that's why she could not accept love in present. But my books around women empowerment really give me the kind of high. Then my third book was my autobiography, because I really wanted to tell the world that behind the smiling face that you see on the social media, there are several layers. And why at all did I take up this challenging task where every day I'm pulled down for feminism or women empowerment, which are terms I agree, but then there has to be somebody working for them on the ground level. So this autobiography was my third. Fourth, again, because I opened my academy, I found a lot of women who were role models for everybody. So it was empowered women, empowered women. When I said that it was the society which brought down women, I also had the responsibility of showing the women who are actually leading by role example and bringing up women. So that was the aim of the fourth book. Last year, I was stranded in Vadodara, and I want people to know about COVID experience. So I wrote soulful letters to my future grandchildren on COVID. That was also a very special experience, because I really know when children will read it like 100 years later, they will find it very amusing.
Exactly. We'll come to know about COVID and all.
So I had quickly summed to 5. Then it's the 6th one, Rashi. This time I ventured a new genre, which is romantic thriller.
Okay.
So it's a very soulful love story of Aradhya and Shamit. But they have their third best friend, Ria, who's actually narrating their love story. Now, the book is about Ria loving Shamit and Aradhya so much that she's wanting to become their third life partner. Now, that concept itself is...
This itself is so interesting,
Right? And then what happens, as Ria is trying to figure out that how she can have the love of her 2 best friends, whom she loves divinely, Shamit vanishes forever.
Okay. All of a sudden.
So this book is all about that. So of course it will take you through
nice thriller,
a lot of emotions and things, but it was fun reading it.
It's good to try new genres,
Yeah. So 6 years have been, Rashi, very, very enriching. They've helped me overcome my sickness to a very great level. And I I know I love my books, and it is
Correct.
important that what you write and people have received it well. I'm really grateful, thankful to all of you. See, I am not a big top shot. I always say, but
But you
whatever
are an
I write,
inspiration to many. You know, people get inspired by your writings, by your books, and then so many things that you're doing.
thank you, Rashi. Thank you so much. But I write to inspire myself and to inspire others, whoever reads them, because I'm too poor at marketing and, all these reviews, paid reviews and all. But whoever has read them, they've always, written to me long messages and
Yes,
they're fed with it. And that is what is my earning, Rashi.
exactly. That is what matters, you know.
Exactly. So I'll show you. Here's my sixth book. It has come from the
Okay.
publishers. I and Arsh will be signing our books for you today.
Yes.
This will be really special
Stay tuned till
for
the end
us.
of the episode.
Yes.
So would you like to read something from your book?
Of course, I'll read you the beginning. Okay, so that what I was talking about, you'll be able to feel. Okay, हम तेरे प्यार में सारा आलम खो बैठे हैं. The melodious rendition by Lata Mangeshkar soaked her in divine joy as Aradhya waited for Shamit to return. This was his favorite playlist he had specially curated for her on her 18th birthday, and listening to it made her feel his presence all around her. It was a ritual she had followed for years. At 6 every evening, she would sip her lemongrass tea, caressing the plant babies she had reared in her tiny terrace garden. Humming the songs along as she watered the peace lilies didn't make her realize her wait for Shamit has been a tad bit long. 7 years, 4 months, 23 days to be precise. 7 years ago, one fine day, he had left, kissing Aradhya goodbye, with a promise to see her in the evening and enjoy their favorite songs together, not to return until today. Every single search for him has ended in a heartbreaking result. But Aradhya paid no heed to everyone's repeated requests or reprimands to forget him and moves on.
Nice.
Rest you have to read.
Yeah, of course. So I'll just tell the audience that we'll be sharing all the links to Roma's blogs and books and everything that she's doing. So after you finish this episode, please check the description of this video and check her work as well. So Roma, what is one thing that, like, apart from writing and all, what is that thing that you love doing, something that you are passionate about?
I do a lot of things, Rashi. I'm a jack of all trades. I write, I paint, I love singing, and I'm a bad singer, but I love singing. I learn doing new things, but I tell you what I love doing the most is spending time with my son.
Yes.
Who's become my perfect partner today. We both have written a book together this year.
Exactly. That's such a proud feeling.
We have written our books together. Apart from that, we watch movies, we do painting together, we have to chat on infinite topics. Suddenly I realized that, this young man has given me a lot of reasons to be on my toes. I'm learning keyboard with him.
Okay,
he's a much better piano player than I am, but that's how it is. But Rashi, today I'm so proud and overwhelmed that he's here with us, and you know that he has
come up with this book.
His book is launched this year, and I'm so proud and overwhelmed. He has written a book, and my son is a debut author now. He's here with us. Would you like to have a word with him?
Yes, please. Please welcome Arsh. Hello. So let me tell the audience, Arsh is just 12 years old, and he has come up with his first book. He is actually, he started blogging at the age of 7. And he has won several gold medals in national Olympiads and public speaking and writing competitions. So Arsh, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome. How are you?
Firstly, thank you for inviting me over. This is my first ever author interview, so I'm excited as hell. And so I'm good. I'm Arsh. I'm a 12-year-old avid bibliophile. I love to read.
Okay.
It, tells me into a fantasy world of books, which, trust me, is my favorite place out of all. And I also play the piano, and I have learned many songs.
Okay.
I love to participate in various competitions, especially of public speaking and creative writing, because I believe those are my, core skills. And this year in the lockdown, where everyone was bored and there was no time, I found enough time in the restrictions to pen down my first book.
That's great. And we are so proud of that you came up with your first book. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So would you like to tell us something about the book? What is it all about?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
My book, it is a fantasy fiction thriller.
Okay.
I have been writing stories and pieces, in this genre since I was 7 when I first started my blog.
Yeah.
I love to use my creativity to write something out of the box, and I feel I'm becoming better at it as the years go by. So I'll give you a gist of my book. So in my book, Captain, who is a 12-year-old, which has special abilities which he doesn't know about, he gets rusticated from his old school for absolutely no reason. And his parents are very angry because, as it is, his parents are rich and they care about their reputation, and they're worried that no school would take him in the middle of the year. But then a very mysterious school sends him an invite to accept him in mid-year, a school that would be changing his life, a school on which the fate of the galaxy stood. So to know more, you will have to read the book.
Oh, that's so nice. That's really interesting. So how do you feel, Arsh? Like now you're an author. Yeah. So how do you feel about it?
So being an author at such a young age has a very special feeling to it. Firstly, it was a very enriching experience, and I really saw a significant change in myself after writing something as long as a book. Also, you are made to feel very special by the people around you. So my friends and my teachers and everyone, whoever read the book, they really liked the book, and that really matters to me. And it felt surreal to touch the copies of the author copies of my book when they first arrived in hard print, and I've kept them decorated on my study table because I really like them, and my parents are really proud of me, and I feel it was totally worth the hard work.
Definitely, it is worth.
So my goal is to write a very fine-tuned, thick novel in the same genre.
Okay.
And I already have started jotting down ideas in my notepad,
Oh, that's
which
great.
I get at totally random times.
Good. That's really nice to know. So what inspires you to write, like at such a young age? Like, how did you start writing?
Yeah, so my mom wrote her 6th book this year, and she often takes me over the process of writing a book. I started writing, when I was 7, because there were various competitions. They basically start from around 1st grade or 2nd grade, around that age. So I started to participate in them, the creative writing, and then when I won one of them, I actually discovered that I could do more, and this could become my passion.
Yeah.
So my mom tells me all about the plot, content, editing, writer's block, publishing, and everything in the steps of a book, writing and publishing a book. And of course, this summer, because of the restrictions of this lockdown, I found enough time to write a book. And I have been writing in this fantasy fiction genre for a lot of time. So, and I've always wanted to write a book. So I thought, I have the time, why not do it now?
Exactly.
And suddenly, when I was writing an article for my blog, which is a fantasy fiction genre, it was a story, I suddenly started to get further plot in my mind, and then I realized that I could turn it into a book. And honestly, I admit writing a book is not easy. So kudos to all the authors.
Including you. So wish you all the best, Arsh, for all your future projects and all the wonderful books that you are going to come up with. That's such a wonderful feeling, Roma. It's I'm sure you're feeling so proud of him.
Yeah, I am. I never felt this for my own books. Look at his answers. I just thought he's a baby. He won't be able to answer you at all.
Exactly. Yeah, he's a big inspiration, to all the kids, to even to big authors. He's an
It's a good
inspiration,
start,
definitely.
Rashi. It's a good start, when every child was just watching TV and cartoons, I saw him,
Yeah.
meandering with the plot and hating his work and discarding chapters, and crying at times and then rewriting them. In fact, at some point, I
Yes.
thought that he's working really hard, because I have never faced a writer's block in my entire life. I'm very lucky for that. And this boy,
Good.
he came like, okay, my story is stuck, mom, and I don't think I'll be able to fulfill the timelines. And so I think we'll have to sleep over it for a year. And I actually have to push him through that. No, we need to put in the hard work. Next year should be another book and then another book. But that's how we evolve. There's no
Yeah,
substitute for hard work, Rashi. I
definitely.
hope you'll agree to that. Right? The more
Exactly.
we write, the more we realize how significant, how significant it is to keep working hard on our
Yes,
work and getting better and better.
definitely. Thank you so much, Roma and Arsh, both of you. It was such a pleasure having you here.
We have a special surprise
Yes.
for you, Rashi. We are
Yeah.
sending over our books to you with all our love.
Oh,
And
thank you
today
so
on
much.
our show, we are signing a special copy for you from our side
Oh, wow.
with
This is
all
such
our
a
love.
wonderful moment. Thank you, both of you. So this is happening for the first time in this show, and I'm so happy.
It is very, very special for us also, Rashi. You have always been a dear friend, and it really means a lot to us to be signing
Yeah.
it for you. Here's the little one also signing it for you.
Yes. That's a special one.
To a wonderful friend and a very special person. I am so privileged to be on your show again and again. I'll probably write a book again for you, Rashi.
Yes, definitely. Please keep coming up with your books. That's
for you and
wonderful.
your
Thank you
show.
so much.
That's how you invite us again and again. This is Arsh also.
Oh, yeah.
We have signed up for you. This is our book signing on Rashi's
Yes.
show, Razzmatazz for Rashi.
Thanks to both of you, and wish you all the best for both the books.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for having us over, Rashi.
Yeah.